I have been writing journal for more than 150 days straight. To be exact, as of today, I'm on day 158. So in this video, I would like to share what I've learned throughout the journey of writing journal for more than 150 days straight. I know this is not something extraordinary, but still, I would like to share what I've learned and also what are the benefits of writing journal. So let's dive in. Number one, be true to yourself. Journal is a very personal and private thing, right? Probably we're not going to show it to anyone. In fact, I have never shown my journal to anybody. And of course, when we are writing our journal, we are alone. No one is watching what we are writing. And you see, human nature, we tend to present the positive side of ourselves to other people and we hide the ugly side of ourselves to other people. We probably do not want to show the ugly side of ourselves to other people. So even when writing my journal in an early stage, I find that I somehow feel like other people is watching what I'm writing, other people is judging me. So even I am going through a negative experience, for example, I tend to manipulate my experience, I tend to manipulate my sentence so that it will look more positive. I know as a normal human, we need to stay positive, we need to be optimistic so that it will motivate us to keep moving forward. But this will defeat the purpose to actually write a journal. If you cannot be true to yourself, if you cannot be honest and write down the real experience, there is no point for you to write a journal. So journal will be a very valuable piece of asset you have in the future as you can go through what you have experienced throughout the year. So when you're writing a journal, the very first lesson that I've learned here is you need to be true to yourself, you need to be real. Just write down the real experience. Number two, record your emotion. Every day after I'm done writing my journal for the day, I will draw a little emoji. If I am feeling generally happy today, I'll put a smiling face. If I am feeling so-so, then I'll put a meh face. If I'm feeling sad, for sure I'll put a sad face. And you remember, you need to be true to yourself. If you're feeling unhappy, just put a sad face. After all, there's nothing wrong to be unhappy, right? And for example, if I plan to get this much work done, and at the end of the day, I get so much more work done. It means I have a productive day today, but it doesn't mean that I will end up with a happy face. Alright, so feelings are very complicated things, but you know your own feeling. So just be true to yourself, just record the real emotion and real feeling you have throughout the day. So after we record all this emotion and feeling we have, how do we make use of them? For me, what I would suggest is every month, you should actually go and calculate how many days in a month that you are happy and how many days in a month that you are feeling sad. For example, maybe in a month, you have more than 20 days in a month that you are feeling sad. I think probably there is something wrong with your life. So you can actually open your journal again, and this is the power of writing a journal. You can actually go back to the month and actually read them through and see what is really happening. And then you can analyze from there, find the root cause that actually causes you to be unhappy for so many days in a month. Then you're probably able to find a way to improve your life, improve yourself, and eventually, hopefully, you will end up with more happy face in the future. Number three, space for your thoughts. You see, throughout our days, we experience a lot, right? We have a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts running in our mind. But if we only keep all this in our mind, we won't be able to do something meaningful about it. It is when we write them down that we can visualize, we can have a bigger and better picture of our thoughts, and then we can actually organize them, plan something, and eventually do something meaningful with them. So, a part of organizing our thoughts. You see, as a normal human being, we have positive experience, positive thoughts. At the same time, we also have negative experience and negative thoughts. For the positive one, you can find that it is very easy for us to share with other people. For example, when you win a lucky draw, when you got a promotion in your workplace, you got straight A in your exam, you will find it is very easy for you to openly and happily share with other people. But how about negative experience? How about negative thoughts? Negative experience and negative thoughts is not something that we want to share with other people. In fact, we don't want to talk about it. Which is why journal provides space for your thoughts, and I would say especially the negative thoughts. And I don't see the benefit of keeping the negative thoughts in your mind because eventually it will hurt your mental well-being. So no matter positive or negative thoughts. Alright, just remember, your brain is not for you to store all your thoughts. Your brain is not a storage device after all. So your brain is for you to think and be creative. So for all your thoughts, just write them down into a journal, and I find journal really provide a space for all your thoughts. Number 4, relieve stress. As a human, we all have some kind of stress. For example, your boss shout at you, your boss scold you, or you have a very bad argument with your colleague at your workplace, but you cannot bring the negative emotion back to your family. There is a saying, we shouldn't bring our workplace problem to our family, and we shouldn't bring our family problem to our workplace. So it is the same. If you have a very bad argument with your wife, you're feeling very upset, you're feeling very frustrated, but you cannot bring the negative emotion to a workplace because it has nothing to do with your boss, it has nothing to do with your colleague. So it is very important for us to find a way to release our frustration and relieve our stress. Of course, to relieve our stress, there is a lot of ways to do it. We can go for a very good dinner, we can go for a good movie, we can go for sports. And one of the powerful ways I find is to write the stressful event and experience down in the journal. So when you write them down, it is like you are releasing the stress from your head to the journal so that it doesn't need to stay in your head, and it will eventually help you to improve your mental health. And to be honest, by far the most profound benefit I find in writing a journal is that it do really help me to relieve my stress, and also I am able to manage my emotion much better. Number 5, habit tracker. I also use my journal to be my habit tracker. Since I'm writing my journal every day, right? So why don't I use it to monitor my daily habit? Currently, I have 3 habits that I'm tracking myself. Number 1 is reading book. Number 2 is writing journal. Number 3 is exercise. So for example, in May, if I done my reading, then I'll put a tick on the left hand side. If I'm done writing my journal, I will put a tick in the middle. If I'm done doing my exercise for the day, then I'll put a tick on the right hand side. Of course, if I skip my exercise, then I will put a cross on the right hand side, so that by end of the month, I can actually calculate how many successful attempts I have in reading book, in writing a journal, and also doing exercise. If I find myself lacking in doing exercise, for example, then it serves as a reminder to myself that, okay, you need to pick up pace, alright? You're not doing so well in your exercise. So you see, habit tracker do help us to push ourselves, to improve ourselves. And it is a good idea for you to implement in your journal because, as I said, anyway, you are going to write your journal every single day. Why don't use it to track your daily habit too? Number 6, write it thoughtfully. We are not living in a fantasy world where we have so much of different and special events happen in our life. Our life basically is quite boring, alright? So we are doing our routine work every day. It's like I wake up today, I go to work, I come back for a good dinner, I went to bed, and then tomorrow I repeat the same. So our life is kind of boring and kind of like a routine. So writing your journal can be your routine as well. So it will become boring, and there is a time where I find myself start to be lazy. I don't really spend my energy to think what I have experienced today. I simply write my journal for the sake of putting a tick on my habit tracker. So it is not something good to do. And I find if you simply write your journal, it defeats the purpose of writing a journal. You need to really write it thoughtfully. Although you can be doing the same thing every day, but for sure you will have a different feeling, you have a different emotion, you will for sure experience something different. So you should really sit down and then think about what you have experienced today, and then don't ever simply write your journal. Write it thoughtfully. So that's it for this video. I really hope my video helped you in some way, and I do strongly recommend and encourage you to start writing a journal if you haven't started already, because there are a lot of benefits in writing a journal. For example, it will help you discover your inner self, it will improve your mental health, and also it will help you manage your emotion much better. And for those who have already started writing a journal, but you feel like you cannot do it consistently, so it is all about habit. For example, I only write about 4 to 5 sentences a day in my journal instead of writing a full page journal, because it will become a burden for you. For those who are not into writing, you will find very tough for you to continuously write a full page journal every single day. It is like when I am trying to build a habit of reading a book last year. Alright, I'm not a guy who can read book actually. When I see the book full of words without picture, without photo, I can tell you that I will fall asleep right away. So how do I manage to build the habit of reading? It's like I start by doing small. Okay, how do I do that? It's like I read 1 to 2 pages every single day. Only 2 pages, I can finish it within 5 minutes. So it is easy for me to do. So I'm able to do it every single day. And then from there, I'm able to build the habit of reading. Although only 2 pages, but after that, I'm able to grow more and more and more. So I basically read more than 10 pages a day now. So it is definitely some improvement, but first, you need to start small so that you can do it consistently. So that's it for this video. I really hope my video helped you in some way, and we'll see you guys in the next video. And you should really start writing a journal. Bye bye.